Howdy folks, and welcome to my review of the Givi XS308 Tanklock Tankbag. I recently got to put this bag through its paces on a 1700-mile chew-up ride where we saw both highways and byways. We saw sunshine and we saw rain. We saw pavement, we saw dirt, and I really walked away with some strong impressions of the bag, so I want to share those with you here. I'm not going to bore you with all the stats of the bag. You probably have already read those by the time you got to this video. But let me focus on the practical use of this tank bag as it worked on our trip. So the bag itself is fantastic. I actually up front want to say that I'm going to recommend you all look at this bag very seriously and potentially even buy this bag if it's on your short list. And the main reason for it is the versatility it has. First aspect of its versatility are all the various storage compartments and kind of how you get to use them in various scenarios. So on the outside of the bag itself, there are three compartments. There's the center compartment right here, which I like to use for my wallet. Works great for that. And there's these two side compartments right here on both sides. They're equal size, and they work fantastic for a cell phone. I use an iPhone SE in a really thick case. It fits in there no problem. I'm sure that some of the larger format phones will also fit there just fine. I use this side for a portable radio with its antennas and earplugs and everything else. Works out just great. So the outside compartments are wonderful, and what's even better about this, that if you need this functionality, you can actually take those off the bag and off the bike with these Velcro straps and this little clip-on right here, and kind of use it as a fanny pack. So if you want to carry these valuables with you and you want to leave the bag on the bike, you can do so very conveniently. So that's a pretty cool feature. The next thing I really like about this bag is the map pocket that's on top. Not only because you can go old school and kind of use a map, but that it works with you on the bike and off the bike. So you kind of disable, you unhook it right here, and then there's just two little clips back here as well that you just unplug, and voila, just like that, you get yourself a map pocket that you can walk away with. So if you're hiking and you're using a topography map to get there and then continue your hike on foot, you can do so very easily and very conveniently. So that's pretty neat. Going into the main compartments of the bag, first of all, you have your technology compartment here up on top. This top plastic works with touchscreens, so that's really neat. You can operate your phone while you're riding. And you have plenty of room here for a big GPS unit or phones or however you set this up. I actually use it for my toll tag, and I have a battery backup here that I use to power my phone, so I can use the phone's GPS and tracking for about 20 hours straight, making extended life of the phone battery. So that's really neat. There's plenty of room in here as well. While this is quite sturdy and quite strong, so it worked really well for me. Be careful, I'm using an old phone for the GPS and the tracking, and it's kind of a cracked screen, so I managed to scratch up this plastic from the inside. Has not impacted its functionality, but it doesn't look very pretty, so fair word of warning there. As you want to dive into the internal compartments as well, it's really well designed. You have these little loops right here to put a lock on your bag if you choose to do so, and you unzip this, you get quick access through this flap to your internal compartment or to your technology compartment, so that's really neat. And then on the inside, you get the sack right here where you can do to cinch everything down, and you get a whole bunch of room on the inside for all your stuff. You can actually very easily fit two 40-ounce drink bottles into this bag, no problem, and still have a whole bunch of room left over for other things. I have a trauma pack in here, and a first aid kit, and a towel, and I keep the bag right here to give you a high-vis bag that you can use in case it pours really hard. You know, protect this whole tank bag. They give you a bag to put over it, and I have all kinds of other stuff stuffed in here. When we took the ride, I had an additional bottle of vitamin water. I had Kind bars and beef jerky, and you name it, stuffed all in there. Had plenty of room, particularly because this bag is expandable. So there is a zipper expansion on this bag. This was expanded right now. It gives you about an additional inch, but if you don't need all the room, you can just zip it down and the bag shrinks a little bit in its format. The nice thing about the zippered expansion is that contrary to some of the zippers or these expansions on some other bags, it doesn't impact the sturdiness because it sits up on top and it's very short, and because of the design of the bag stays extremely sturdy altogether. I got to put this into action on the trip as we took a dirt road ride where you had some dried out riverbeds and some sand on the road, and I hit a patch of sand, and the bike kind of went left and right all over the place. And the bag not only stayed very sturdily attached to the Tanklock system, but it also didn't wildly pendulum back and forth. So I didn't get a pendulum effect that was going to throw me off the bike because of the extra weight that was sitting on top. This was all one connected piece, and it worked really, really well, even when it was fully loaded down and fully expanded, utilizing the zipper. So very functional bag, loads of room, very well designed, very sturdy. Another thing I think is pretty cool about this bag is how some of the other little details are set up. So as you're probably familiar with the Tanklock system by the time you get to this video, it essentially mounts on a little ring that you get to disconnect with a lever on the bottom. So you mount this little ring on top of your tank, and that's what the bag clips onto. It is really easy to remove, as you just saw this, and the safety strips that come with the bag, they're designed to keep it in place just in case if it does disconnect and start falling off. Also work really well when you get to the gas station, because I can just gently hang the bag on the side. I have access to my tank right here. I still have access to my wallet right here, and I get to do my maneuvers and fill the gas tank back up. And then when I'm done, I just get to kind of get this bag situated back on top. Kind of have to find a spot there. It clips on, voila, secure and steady. Works really well. Now, there are two drawbacks that I found with this bag that I want to share with you all. One's a minor nuisance, one's a little bit more of a bigger nuisance depending on how you use it. So first, the minor nuisance. The minor nuisance here is that besides being able to carry the bag, you also get this shoulder strap, which is not a nuisance in its of its own. It's very cool that you actually have a shoulder strap to carry this bag. You don't have to hold it in your hand. But because of the shape of this bag, it's really not very convenient to carry on your shoulder. It's a little bulky, and you're either leaning up against this side, you're leaning up against the plastic side on the bottom, and it's not very comfortable. I used this on a hike through Santa Elena Canyon there in Big Bend National Park, and yeah, I did not enjoy carrying this bag. There's some other manufacturers who have their tank bags set up in a way where you can use them as a backpack. I think that's a better solution. I wish that Givi would have gone that route here as well. So it is annoying, but it's not the deal breaker by any means. But just to be aware that if you're going to be loading this thing up and you plan on carrying this around for a while, but if you're hiking across hills and mountains and all this other stuff, it can get a little bit annoying. The second nuisance, and that might be potentially a bigger one for y'all, is actually with this really cool map pocket. So while this is really neat to attach and remove, and you have all this versatility with it, the problem with the map pocket relates to its size. And that, let me illustrate this here real quick. So the bag itself, the map pocket, looks really good with the map inside, but you can probably tell the map is folded. Unfortunately, the map pocket is not wide enough to fit a standard US map in terms of the two map panes right here fitting inside the bag. So you actually have to bend one of the sides or both of them in order to make it fit. Not a terrible deal breaker if you use a map like I do, which is I use the cheap free maps that you can get from the Travel Information Center, and I just use one map per trip. So if it tears a little bit, no big deal, it's just part of the memories. Now, if you have a favorite map that you do not want to be bending and beating up like this, then this might become kind of an issue. Because there's, like I said, no way of fitting this map fully extended. You'll be stuck with single panes, which you can do, but that becomes a pain because every X amount of miles you would have to go and do this flip back and forth. I don't recall if the European maps are a little more narrow, that they actually fit properly in here. But I did want to share this minor annoyance, or this minor weakness, or maybe potentially not minor weakness, of this bag with y'all as you're considering this purchase. Is it a deal breaker? Not for me. It may be for you. I don't know if Givi makes bigger pockets like this. That's something I actually still need to look into. But just wanted to share that with you. So, but outside of this small annoyance with the map and the shoulder strap, the bag is fantastic. I actually strongly recommend, if you're in the market for a tank bag, to really give this a strong look, or if it's on your short list, then I would give it a thumbs up to make that purchase. Very sturdy, lots of versatility, lots of space. You can fit those two 40-ounce drink bottles in there without a problem. For 1,700 miles through sunshine, through rain, it was perfect. Even as we rode through the rain, I do have the windshield on the bike, so that helped out a little bit. But even as it got a little bit of wet, there was no seepage of water through in any form of fashion. Everything stayed nice and dry. I didn't have to use the cover. So it might not be fully waterproof, but this is water resistant out of the box, apparently, and then the extra cover provides you full waterproofing. So once again, the Givi XS308 Tanklock Tankbag, great piece of kit, strongly recommended if you're in market for an adventure tank bag. Thank you very much for watching. Please comment below if you have any questions or suggestions. Please subscribe if you'd like to see more of this content, and I look forward to seeing you all soon. Have a good day.